If you love staying on the cutting edge of the Pittsburgh food scene, you've got to check out the Franklin Street Market on the north side. It's a new evening food market featuring emerging Pittsburgh food producers. Franklin Street Market is your opportunity to discover emerging local food brands, and it's happening just 2 more times this season. So Thursday, September 19th and Thursday, October 17th, both from 4 to 8 p.m. at 1243 North Franklin Street. Come experience what's hot and what's rising in Pittsburgh food at Franklin Street Market. Learn more and apply to be a food or art vendor at franklinstreetmarketpgh.com. Today on CityCast Pittsburgh. Technically, fall is still a few days away, but if you need to embrace that autumnal spirit early, or you just like to plan your fall calendar in advance, this is the show for you. We've got cozy cider and coffee, apple picking, pumpkin patches, hay rides, even beer. It's all part of 8 fall festivals to find your perfect Pittsburgh adventure. It's Thursday, September 12th. I'm Megan Harris, and here's what Pittsburgh's talking about. I'm with CityCast producer Sophia Lowe. Good morning.
Good morning.
Sophia, kick us off. Favorite question of the week. What is the best thing you've eaten recently?
Kind of cheating because I have 2 things, but over the weekend I went to Novo Asian Food Hall on the Strip and had a bunch of stuff. So my advice is to splurge on the big combo meal at Lolo's. You get 2 mains, so you can try a little bit of everything. And the ube butter that comes with the bread is amazing. It is so ube-y and also a little sweet. Honestly, just get the bread and butter if you don't want the mains. It's pretty meat heavy. And I also loved the chicken cutlet from Kung Fu Chicken, fried to perfection. So good.
I feel like so often the ube is added to give you that beautiful purple color, but it doesn't taste like ube.
This one does both, so I highly recommend it for any ube fans.
Wonderful. Mine this week is aspirationals. We're going to Scratch & Co. in Troy Hill this week as a team. I'm so excited. But I'm looking at what appears to still be their summer menu, and my fingers are crossed because I'm really hoping these cocktails are still an option. There's one that's this raspberry coconut lemon vodka thing. It is bright pink in a Nick and Nora glass. It is calling my name.
I don't know what that means. I do not know my cocktail glasses.
Those cute little coupe ones, that have the rounded, they're pretty.
I'm sure they're pretty, but if you put something in front of me, I will drink it. But even though that sounds extremely good, I am ready for fall drinks. So fingers crossed for me that they have their fall menu open.
Okay, we're dueling now.
I love dark rum and apple cider.
I do too, but we got the rest of the season to enjoy it. But this is the episode for you to be getting into that mood. We're going to be talking about all kinds of fall festivals and ways to enjoy them here in Pittsburgh. Sophia, what is first on your list?
Yes. So first up is Sorgel's Fall Festival that kicks off this weekend. I think technically a little early since we don't get into fall until the 22nd, 21st. I don't remember the exact date.
I mean, technically, but we're basically there.
Yeah, it is the vibe. So this will run every weekend, Saturdays and Sundays through October 27th. So the farm's going to be open for tractor rides, apple and pumpkin picking. They have their food barn, other games and activities. They also serve Arsenal cider in their tap room, so that's also open on the weekends.
I really love going on a crisp, cool morning because they'll have the hot cider out, which I think just hits different. But just be forewarned that Sorgel's is basically Disneyland on the weekends. There are, no lie, hundreds of people. The parking is challenging, but they do a great job of trying to make it as easy as possible. But just know that's a thing because they also have that huge greenhouse on site. There are mums galore. They have the grocery store. Like you said, they have that food barn. There's outbuildings all over their campus there. Sometimes they are open, sometimes they aren't. They sell and do different things. But then the pumpkins, oh my gosh, it's just every size. They're everywhere. If you need your seasonal picture for the year, this is definitely your spot. But just prepare yourself for absolute madness if you go on a Saturday or Sunday.
Is it still worth it for the donuts? I know I said in a previous episode, like, this is the year where I want to get them.
Yes, a 12 out of 10 would still brave those ridiculous crowds for a baker's dozen. Worth your time.
Okay, awesome. Maybe I'll also pick up a pie while I'm there, get all the goodies.
Get everything you can imagine. The grocery store is actually really fun to just like take a swing through. They have all kinds of like, some of it's like basic grocery store things, but a lot of it's like farm fresh stuff. So it's kind of fun. And they also have a sandwich counter, which like if you're hungry, those sandwiches are actually pretty good.
Well, this festival is totally free to enter and then pay as you go for specific activities. Like apple picking is $7 per quarter peck. So that comes out to about like 2.5 pounds of fruit. There is this whole apple chart on Sorgel's website too, which tells you like what's available. And I'm so excited because I am looking for a specific variety. I will be hitting them up once Mutsu apples come in. They are one of my favorites.
I definitely have never had that. And I never bother to check that chart in advance. Like I am one of those people that strolls in and I'm like, what you got today?
Oh, I am looking for specific apples.
Nope. They just hand me a bag and they're like, go up, 2 or 3 rows to the right. That's your spot. And then I just sort of like putz around for a while. Kind of similar at Trax Farms down in Fenleyville. They're doing weekend fall fest type activities too. So a little later in the month, their first day is going to be September 28th and then it'll run through October 27th.
So what does Trax Farms activities list look like?
They have a hayride, which takes you to their pumpkin patch, but they have a corn maze. The hayride ticket does not include the price of pumpkin, so that's going to be separate if you want to take any home. And you can actually reserve tickets for their hayride and save a couple bucks online if you do it in advance. And that'll give you priority when you show up in person. So a little hot tip there. There's also live music, rotating food trucks, just a lot of cool things to do and experience.
Now I am torn between going to get apples and trying to do a corn maze. It has been a long time since I did one and I did not get out correctly. Like I did not block out enough time for this. And my group just like dipped out one of the emergency exits.
I mean, sometimes you just like hit your max on how many people you can be around at any given moment and you just have to leave.
Yeah.
Maybe be thoughtful about that as you were choosing your parking space. But Sophia, I still think like there is enough time. Like you've got some weeks. You could do both.
That is true, but there are still only so many weekends in the fall, and I'm going to have to make some hard decisions. But one thing that is 100% on my list is Oktoberfest Pittsburgh. So that's happening downtown from October 3rd to the 13th.
This is wild to me. So I've been to the small ones we have in town. They're hosted by individual restaurants. Penn Brewery, I think, is the OG, the classic. Teutonia Manor Core, which is always fun. Some of the breweries have gotten into it too, like the newer ones, 11th Hour, Golden Hour. Hofbrauhaus always has something. And then I saw last year Vellum Fermentation in the South Side. They're doing a vegan Oktoberfest. But I've just never seen the city get into the game. I'm really curious how this is going to shake out.
Yeah, this is new. I got a press release from the Pittsburgh Downtown Partnership. They explained it's the first ever Oktoberfest Pittsburgh. They're putting it together with this company called Fly Space Productions. But the one thing I am really excited for, like, it's not the beer. It is this 60-foot Ferris wheel that is going to be on the Roberto Clemente Bridge.
On the bridge?
Yes, it's on the bridge.
I saw this press release. I'll be honest, I did not click into it. On the bridge?
Yeah, on the bridge. Can
you imagine what the insurance is for being able to put a Ferris wheel on a bridge?
I'm not trying to imagine that. I'm trying to imagine me in the Ferris wheel on the bridge. That just sounds so fun.
Man, I already think dark thoughts when I'm on Pittsburgh bridges sometimes. I don't know that I want to be on a Ferris wheel while I'm doing it.
I mean, they just fixed those bridges, right? Like, they're good.
That's true. You're right. Those were the most recently renovated bridges you could probably be on. How do you ride the Ferris wheel, Sophia?
So you do need a ticket for these. They cost $5, which I don't think is that bad for, I feel like, as much of a show this is putting on. So you can get tickets on the event's website. We'll have the link in the show notes, but it is oktpgh.com. And it seems like they recommend buying these in advance as well. So maybe plan ahead a little bit for this.
Yeah. I mean, I'm poking around on the site now. I have actually clicked into the press release. But okay, first of all, a hell yes to this one. They're doing a quote unquote feats of strength competition. And one of them is Stein holding, like you're literally holding a beer stein as long as you
I
can.
saw that. There's so many rules and regulations. It
There
is
really are.
so complicated.
There's a lot of fine print here. It looks like, okay, so Market Square is going to turn into a Bavarian village, and there's going to be a bunch of local and German beers to try. KDK, there's a thing on here where they're talking about where the beer tent is going to be modeled off of Munich's beer hall. So I guess it sounds like they're really trying to make this a whole big thing.
Good. Make the beer hall big, and while everyone's drinking, I will be doing the Ferris wheel over and over again and seeing if I can win like carnival prizes or something. I'll grab a pretzel in there. I'll, do some Oktoberfest thing.
I mean, honestly, like a Bavarian village in Market Square just kind of sounds like Market Square already in the holidays, like around like
it does.
yeah, like I feel like they could plan a little bit and do themselves a solid and just like put this thing up once and leave it until January.
If they do that, I want it to go spooky for Halloween week, though. Like, put some bats up there.
Bats, some spider webs. Although I don't know if you want like some of the Pittsburgh characters like jumping out and going boo at you in Market Square. When Penn Brew and others do their traditional Oktoberfest, we will also let yins know. Our friends at Discover the Berg actually rounded up a whole bunch of their favorites, so we will link that in the show notes.
Very fun. And yes, we will have so much in our Hey Pittsburgh newsletter, so make sure you're subscribed to that if you aren't already. Well, this next festival is a little bit more of a hike. It's the National Apple Harvest Festival. This is in Biglerville, which is about 3.5 hours away. But while doing research for this episode, I found this on a bunch of travel websites as like the Pennsylvania Fall Festival. And last year, it was named one of the 10 best fall festivals by USA Today readers.
Okay, Sophia, once again, you are educating me. I have never heard of this festival. What is so special about it?
It's really big and there's a really huge lineup of events. This takes place over like a giant fairgrounds. So their website says they have more than 300 craft vendors. They'll have like antique cars, apple orchard tours, lots and lots of live music, magic shows, a whole kids area. I think there's a pageant because there's a whole page from the Apple Queen. And then the list of food vendors and food items is so long. I won't get into it now. We'll be here all day. But there's apple syrup making. That sounds cool.
Yeah, I feel that actually seems like a really good activity to like watch people do because it's just like boiling, right? Like that's pretty easy to control in a group setting.
Yeah.
But now I'm curious, like tours of an apple orchard, like is it next to the fairgrounds? Like I have follow-ups.
I'm not sure. That one's a little confusing to me, but if anyone wants to experience this, maybe report back to us. It's happening over the course of 2 weekends, October 5th and 6th, and then October 12th and 13th. $10 for a ticket, which feels like a steal for so much entertainment. And a lot of the proceeds also go to local orgs in the area. And the fairgrounds are also about 10 miles away from Gettysburg, maybe if you get like too appled out.
Yeah, plenty to do in that part of the world. Well, let's talk about apple festivals that are a little closer to home. So the Mars Apple Festival is on October 5th. They have got a ton of kid-friendly activities. Face painting is always a favorite of mine because you see all the munchkins like running around as different animals. All the classic fair foods, kettle corn, funnel cakes, corn dogs. They say they're going to have 150-ish vendors and tons of produce from local farms.
Fun. I haven't been to Mars. Don't they also have a flying saucer?
They do. Yeah, right there in the center of town. They actually have a huge space-themed festival in June every year. NASA even comes. It's a whole thing. But the page for the Mars Apple Fest also encourages people to check out some of their other local landmarks. Like I got my dining room table from this artsy wood shop up there called Salvaged Pittsburgh. They even have a carousel that has been sitting outside there for ages that I adore. I really want someone to take it home and make it special. But the farmers market's going to be open on the 5th. The library is going to be doing their fall book sale. There's an $8 pancake breakfast at the Masonic Lodge in the morning. And going to that means you should also get an early parking spot for the festival.
Oh, that's important.
Yeah. So parking and admission are free. And even if you do show up a little bit late, they're going to have like overflow situations with a shuttle. Also, shout out, they have a really cool Stick City Brewing up there. And some of their beers are all like kind of environmentally focused. And I think at least one of them proceeds go back to protecting our forests.
That's awesome. And it's very smart that they've got parking all planned out. I will bring it back into the city for this next festival, Fall Fest on Bingham Street. That's October 6th. So it's Mount Washington's fifth time doing this, and so many local businesses are involved. But the main thing's hosted by Bingham Tavern and Armful of Flowers.
Yeah, I feel like Armful of Flowers in particular does so many like festivals and small things like this. It's really cool all over the summer and of course into the fall. Newsletter editor Francesca DeBecco loves them and goes to a ton of that stuff.
Yeah, she actually recommended them for me in the first place. And I think their urban flower farm is really cool. That's going to be open for pick your own flowers during the festival. They've also got a pumpkin patch. You can get some mums. There's even like a 9-hole mini golf course set up.
Whoa.
There's a kid zone where you can decorate a pumpkin, but I hope that's available for adults too. I would love to do that.
I feel like you could talk your way in, Sophia.
I feel like they could. Like, I'm sure it's like kid focused, but I don't think they're going to say no to, anyone who's excited. And then Bingham Tavern's also doing like a Stein hoisting type of event too. Not as many details there. I do not know their rules.
I'm imagining it is like a kettlebell swing, but like you can't spill the beer or something.
No clue. I guess we'll have to see. There's a hot wing eating competition and then a dog costume contest.
Yes, although I hope they open it to cats too. Like I feel like it should include cats on leashes.
That's true. I'm trying to imagine bringing my cat there. First, she hates clothes, so that wouldn't work. But she'd also be like, too many people, too loud. What's happening? Let me go home and nap.
Oh no, the cats would hate it. This is for me.
Okay, well, I mean, cats have claws, so good luck. Again, this is all happening in Mount Washington on Bingham Street. This is from 12 to 5 p.m. And then my next recommendation isn't exactly a festival, but I also love the Phipps Fall Flower Show. I think it's my favorite exhibition they put on. This year's theme is Rhythm and Blooms, very cute. There's going to be all sorts of chrysanthemums. Each room has a different genre of music playing too. So I'm really excited to get this sort of more immersive experience with sound, colors, all the smells.
Yeah, I feel like I've missed out on Phipps stuff this year. So I've got to at least check off one or two on my list. Like I didn't see the summer flower show, so I've got to make sure I hit this one.
Yeah, and the fall one's pretty short too. I think most of their shows last a little longer. If you want to take in all of this music and the flowers, you have from October 5th to the 27th to check out the fall show. For adults, admission is about $22.
And then last up, there's the Monster Pumpkin Festival. That's going to be in the Strip District on October 19th and 20th. So just one weekend. Sophia, I'm curious if you've been to this one.
No, I haven't.
Well, I think you should go. Drop by. I think you would like it. So as you might guess from the name, there are enormous pumpkins there. Some of them are carved. Many of them are not. But they are just incredible works of art, both like from a farming perspective that someone grew a gourd this large, but also from like the artists that come in and then carve them. As someone who like used to really love doing that as a kid, particularly carving like the exteriors, I'm just in awe of like how people do this with like such like precision. It's really, really beautiful.
Yeah, I have never carved a pumpkin. That's my confession.
What?
So I'm impressed by literally any pumpkin that's carved because I'm like, I feel like I'd suck at this. Good job.
Sophia, I feel like you need to confess that to your friend group so that they can right this wrong.
Yeah, I know. I think that's part of the plan. I think we are going pumpkin picking partially so I can carve one.
Yeah. One year when I was a kid, my dad and I carved, I think it was 14 pumpkins over the course of a season. We were Halloween people, capital H. But back to the Monster Pumpkin Fest. Some of these are so big, like literally you could fit people inside of them. The festival website says these pumpkins are Atlantic giants, and the record is 2,500 pounds.
What?
So they're going to.
For a pumpkin?
I know, right? That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
Like, it's incredible. There's going to be costume contests, a bunch of stuff for kids, including a tractor pull. Like, just the visual of a little kid doing a tractor pull in the middle of the Strip District brings me so much joy.
That is fun.
Yeah.
So what happens to all of these pumpkins after the festival's over? Like, I cannot imagine that these just like sit and rot. Like, maybe other pumpkins do on doorsteps.
I unclear, but they do a bunch of pumpkin drops over the course of the 2 days.
Nice.
So like they've got in their schedule, they're advertising dropping one that's going to be 2,000 pounds for charity. Just by the by, I happened to be walking by last year when they were hoisting one of these things before the festival opened, and just seeing how they lift something that enormous was super impressive. But I think they're going to be doing a bunch of drops for a bunch of different reasons, all kinds of different spectacles related to that. So we will link the schedule so you can catch the one that you like best.
I'm so glad they're making big things go sploot. That's so important.
Well, as we are wrapping up, are there any food events this weekend that you think should be on people's radars?
One thing that looks really fun is Moonfest. So this is a celebration of the Mid-Autumn Festival hosted by Jaded and OCA Pittsburgh. They're an Asian American and Pacific Islander focused nonprofit org. So Moonfest is going to be on Saturday, September 14th from 4:30 to 9. It's going to be downtown at the Chinatown Inn. There's going to be food, a DJ set, lots of other performances. I think there's going to be a lion dance, and those are always really
Ooh.
fun to watch. What
Yeah.
about you, Megan?
Yeah, I'll shout out the Pittsburgh County Fair. So it's going to be this Sunday, 11 to 6, totally free. I guess it's the second year that they're doing this, so still pretty new. Lots of local farmers and vendors. They're going to have a Best Tomato in Pittsburgh contest and a vegetable show. I really love Blue Ribbon produce. I just love how wholesome it is to see how they grew it. I've never been, but it looks chill. That's going to be in Allegheny Commons Park on the north side.
I hope they have a giant tomato.
Me too. That's all for today here on CityCast Pittsburgh. If you like what you hear, please write us a review. I know people say that all the time, but it really does help the algorithm recommend us to folks and bring more people to CityCast. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Talk to you soon.
Hang on, Jacob. I'll be done in like 5 minutes. Just go. Go. You don't have to take your computer. I'll be done in 5 minutes.